Let's get real, shall we? Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Beekeeping with Broseley Bees, and today we're going to be talking about swarms. Honeybees are the only insect in the UK that swarm, and this happens during the spring months, usually from April to July, with the peak happening in May to mid-June. Tens of thousands of them fill the skies, but why do they do this? To answer that, we need to go back to the winter months. During the winter, the colony's population is at its lowest. All of the male drones have been evicted and there's just a few thousand workers and a single queen left. When spring arrives and there's a bounty of nectar and pollen for the bees, the colony's population quickly explodes, with the queen laying up to 2,000 eggs in a single day. As I mentioned in my previous video, the queen has two jobs. One, laying thousands of eggs every day. The second, producing the queen pheromone. As long as the workers can detect this pheromone, they continue about their daily tasks as normal. However, as the population quickly expands, the pheromone can no longer be picked up by every worker in the colony. This is the first signal that the colony needs to swarm. The workers begin the process by constructing queen cups. These are often built at the edge of the frames among all the other eggs. The cells have to be larger to accommodate for the pupating larvae to turn into a queen. Unlike the worker larvae, which are fed bee bread, which is a mix of honey and pollen, the larvae destined for royalty is fed just royal jelly, the white substance you can see in this photo, which is secreted from the forehead of the worker bees. The royal jelly affects the larvae at a genetic level, resulting in a queen bee rather than a worker bee. As the larvae begins pupation, the cell is sealed with a little wax lid. It's at this point the colony swarms. The reigning queen leaves, taking a huge chunk of the workforce with her, filling the air with tens of thousands of bees. And the reason for leaving? Finding a new home to start up a new colony, leaving behind a few thousand bees waiting for their new queen to emerge. That's all swarming is, the natural process by which one colony of bees becomes two. Before the swarm can find a new home, they often rest in a nearby bush. It can be on a fence post, on the side of a house, anywhere. They form a tight cluster around the queen to keep her safe and to keep each other warm. Then a few of the workers will fly off, acting as scouts looking for a new home. It's at this point, as long as it is safe to do so, that beekeepers such as myself will come out and remove the bees for you. We will give them a nice new home in a nice clean beehive. When swarming, bees are quite passive as they have no honey stores or nests to protect. However, please do not move them on by yourself as you are more than likely to get stung. Just keep a nice safe distance, contact your local beekeeper and have a glass of wine. Just remember, they're not out to attack, they are simply looking for a new place to live.